Texas, a state where 23% of the population believe that President Obama is a secret Muslim. A state where the governor, I think his name is Rick Perry, I like to call him Rick Scary, said that Texas might just secede from the United States. To which my reaction was, good, make haste, be gone, we don't want you, it's no great loss. And now Texas, a state where history and science and social studies and economics are just roadkill in the rearview mirror of a Mack truck driven by the Republican Party. When your grandchildren ask you 50 years from now just when and where America became a theocracy, you can tell them that it started in Texas. And it wasn't a decision that was made by the people, and it wasn't a decision that was even made by an important government official. It wasn't some edict that was handed down from Washington. It was a decision that was made just last Friday by the Texas Board of Education to adopt a new and improved curriculum for the students of Texas. And in May, when their revisions are ratified, America will be dead. No longer simply dying, folks. Dead. So you might be asking, what sort of curriculum will Texas schools have from now on? There was this guy once, he was a founding father, and he was the third president of the United States of America, and he was the author of the Declaration of Independence. I think his name was Thomas Jefferson. The reason that I'm not quite sure about whether or not his name was Thomas Jefferson is because he will no longer appear in Texas textbooks. No, no, no. He will be replaced by religious icons like John Calvin, the founder of Calvinism, whose prestigious accomplishments include such amazing feats as reading the Bible and then telling other people what he thinks about it. Woo! What a genius! That's right, folks. Texas is replacing a founding father and a U.S. president and the author of the Declaration of Independence with a stinky 16th century anti-Semitic Frenchman. How's that for patriotism? Students in Texas will now learn that the U.S. Constitution does not prohibit the government from promoting one religion above all others. Forget the First Amendment. I think we can safely ignore that. I mean, after all, it was only first, so it couldn't have been that important. They were probably just getting it out of the way. Congress shall make no law. Well, that's just Congress. They didn't say that other people couldn't make laws. I mean, the president can arbitrarily make a law if he wants. Well, not now, because it's not a Republican president. But once we have a Republican president again, the Republican president can make whatever laws he wants. You see how it works, folks? Students in Texas will also learn that there is no such thing as separation of church and state. That's just something made up by the liberals. Okay, sure, Thomas Jefferson said that there's a wall of separation between church and state, but who cares? Who's Thomas Jefferson? He's not even in the textbook. What does he matter? But don't worry, folks, because even though they're getting rid of Thomas Jefferson, they're giving us someone even better. That's right, Ronald Reagan. The new Texas textbooks are going to teach us all about Reagan and how he was the greatest president ever, and how we should put him on the $50 bill, and we should put him on Mount Rushmore, and he was just so wonderful. Students will be required to write essays on the conservative resurgence of the 80s and 90s, and about the Heritage Foundation, and the National Rifle Association, and the Contract for a New America, and blah, blah, blah. The Texas Board of Education will remove sexuality from a list of cultural forces because they think that if they list sexuality, it will promote transsexuality and transvestites and homosexuals and all sorts of other icky things that the Texas Board of Education doesn't approve of. Texas textbooks will now omit the fact that Mexicans died at the Alamo. I I don't even understand this one because it just makes those little pussies that died at the Alamo seem like even bigger pussies. Are you telling me they couldn't even kill one Mexican, Texas? Is that what you're saying? So you're saying that the people who fought at the Alamo are even bigger wusses than America has always thought they were, which is why that movie starring Billy Bob Thornton was a complete box office failure because no one cares about the Alamo, Texas? The textbooks will also argue that McCarthy was right, and the Red Scare was justified, and that communists really did infiltrate every aspect of our society. Remember that fidgety guy that you saw in the supermarket the other day? Well, he was a communist. Better report him to Uncle Sam. Another thing that the Texas Board of Education is going to do is they're going to take the word capitalism and replace it with free enterprise or free market system because capitalism has a negative connotation. So what if that's the word that we all recognize the concept by? That doesn't matter. They're going to give it a fluffier, happier sounding name so that it appeals more to the youth because free enterprise, that sounds hip and cool. Capitalism, that sounds like a drag, man. But why should we care? It's just Texas, right? Wrong. With Texas embracing this new distortion of history, other states will follow suit. The entire southern United States will probably give way to Republican revisionism just within the next 5 years. And once all of the major textbook companies are printing these revised Republican textbooks, guess what, folks? It's going to seep into the other states, because if a textbook company has a choice between printing 2 versions of a textbook or 1 version of a textbook, they're going to print 1. And if most states are ordering the textbook that says that America is a magical wonderland that has never done anything wrong except electing Barack Obama, and that all other countries are just slaves that should bow down to us, their great imperialist masters, if everyone's ordering that textbook, no one's going to bother printing textbooks that actually get it right. No one's going to stand up and print a textbook that makes the bold and controversial declaration that maybe Thomas Jefferson is, I don't know, important. There could be a day in the next 20 years when Thomas Jefferson isn't mentioned in any American textbook, at least not any textbook paid for with your tax dollars. There could be a day in our lifetimes when students in the United States of America don't know what separation of church and state is, when those words are just completely foreign to them. What do you think that generation is going to be like when they get older? They're probably going to replace the Constitution of the United States of America with the 10 Commandments and start stoning women in the streets for being harlots. And hey, I hope you guys like bonfires, because you're going to be seeing an awful lot of them in the future. The new Theocrats that Texas will proudly deliver to us will happily burn copies of Fahrenheit 451 without even noticing the irony, by the way. And they'll create these big book bonfires and toss all us sinners into the fire. Ooh, you're a Muslim and you're an atheist and you're gay and you said something I don't like once. And before they kill us, they'll probably make us listen to the national anthem. But it won't be the Star-Spangled Banner anymore. It'll be Onward's Christian Soldiers. So, just before you're being led in front of the firing squad for not kneeling deeply enough during mandatory church service, your grandkids will probably ask you, Grandpa, why is the world so cruel and petty and intolerant and unjust? And you can tell them, it all started in Texas, way back in 2010. It all started in Texas.